Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back into another video. Now, I had this recorded already before Omen, but I feel like, it needs a bit of updating. And before you start looking up and you look at those flanks up there and you're like, what the hell is this tier list? Remember, I've done this a while ago. Second of all, remember that this is a personal tier list, which means it's based on my experience and my thoughts only. Okay? Now, is this considered on competitive or casuals? I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to do it a bit more on competitive. We're going to imagine the standard, typical 2 tanks, 1 off, 1 point, 1 main tank, 1 off tank, and then 1 flank, 1 damage, 1 support. And I'm going to be evaluating as if they were in this position. How exactly would they do? Right? So right now, it is already sort of in place, but I want to specifically explain instead of going through the process of like, oh, maybe I should put this one here or this one there. No, it's already sort of in place. We'll fix a couple things. This way, I can skip a lot of the time. And now I'm going to explain why they are in the place they are. Let's go through the real bad all the way to the top. Let's start off with Caspian. Caspian has been insanely nerfed with the entire change of not getting the stacks on shields. So anybody who picks this guy, unless you're playing with the third talent, you're going to be feeding really hard. And even the third talent is really team dependent. Like, you need your team to help you snowball the enemy. So you can prove me wrong, but like, tell me the last time you've seen a Caspian in competitive. Unless you're very low elo and somebody decided to try it. I've been through the entire plat elo. I'm back to diamond almost. I need like 1 or 2 games to get back into diamond. And right now with the new split that just came with the Omen patch, I haven't seen a single Caspian. Not one. I'm not even kidding. Then we got Moji. Moji is that sort of champion that it might be super strong, like close range in 1v1s and so on, but the value that it brings to the enemy team, to your team, it really depends on map. And if you have a bad map, let's say like Splitstone, good luck trying to get any value. I can tell you, for example, I had a game where somebody decided to go Strix and then somebody decided they wanted to go Moji together with the Strix. Guess what? We lost 100% because the 2 main DPSs of our team, one of them had no range and the other one shoots very slowly. So that together didn't have any value whatsoever on a spreading cauterize, had no value on hitting multiple people at the same time. They weren't even focusing the same people at the same time, so what was the point? But what I'm trying to say is that Moji is easily countered by many of these other flanks that you've seen here up top, and you don't have to put even half of the effort. So there's literally no point to me to put Moji up there anywhere in this, in this board, because it just doesn't make any sense. Now on bad, just so people understand, it's bad, but it's like borderline average. It's Koga. Although now with the crossplay and competitive, I could say that maybe it could go a bit up. Maybe we could put Koga in probably like average. But I'm definitely gonna have to bring Buck down. And the reason why I want to bring Buck down, I noticed this thing, which is really weird, is Buck tends to be played a lot, and like the Spanish area, like what's it called, Latin America, in there, like Buck is their god for some reason. Anytime I play in there, it just feels like people really love Buck, and Buck is super strong, don't get me wrong, but there are some easy counters to this guy. So when you don't counter it, I mean, he's gonna demolish, obviously. But right now with the new crossplay meta, sort of, in competitive, characters like Koga are gonna be spreading cauterize a lot easier. Because guess what? Aim assist, what people like to call the legal aimbot, according to them. It is strong, okay? There's no question about it. The aim assist NPC controller is super strong. In my opinion, it should be disabled on PC, and non-controller should be probably tuned in a little bit, have the option to turn it off and on, whatever people want. But hey, that's just me. But Buck ends up suffering a lot because he does have the VR to survive, but the game is filled with CC, and second of all, the game also has a lot of cauterized, like, mid-game, like, late game. So these guys, like Kogas, right, just spreading that cauterized, but just spraying somewhere, and then aim assist just saying, oh, let's lock on the Buck. Guess what? Buck suffers a lot. So if you are a one-trick Buck that is very good with Buck, I understand, and you might be mad at this, okay, but understand that this is in general. Like, not everyone can grab Buck and essentially just play with him in competitive. You know, they suffer a lot. I, for example, I was training Buck these last few weeks, and when I went to competitive with him, I could play him, but I can tell you that I could still suffer because of the all aim assist that most DPS hit scans are playing with, right? It definitely hurts. So that's that. Now let's go into the average. I'm still maintaining the ones I'm saying there, even though I do see the Sky and the Talus, and I know how people are going to be upset. Do understand that it goes from right to left. This one being the best, this one being the worst inside of that category. The reason why I'm putting Talus in there is because beyond him just spraying and maybe deleting a couple of people, if he has a good team, if he has somebody that can allow him to move, somebody who can build space for him, then yes, you could be even going all the way to good, maybe even OP in certain borderline scenarios, maybe depending on the enemy comp. But in my opinion, he has to be there just because of the fact that this man by himself can't carry. Like, you're going in, you poke, as soon as anybody looks at you, like Diamond Elo and above, they're gonna look at you and you're just gonna instantly teleport because you're gonna be scared. They're gonna demolish you in seconds, right? This guy's squishy as heck. Right? He walks around. The best mobility he has is the teleport and walking around with speed. That's it, right? And then with a meta that right now a lot of people are heavily investing on the point tank and the off tank. And the off tanks are often characters with a lot of DR. Let's say Azan, let's say even Nyx now, and some other characters that we could talk about here. But like, for example, the off tanks are hard to kill, right? And the point tanks have a lot of shields. So this guy is basically shooting shields. What's the point of taking him and not taking something else, like, let's say, I would say even a Vivian or maybe a Betty. Like, Betty is not, you know, head scan like him, but Betty can just demolish the shields, spread shots all over the place, and that's it. A Betty and a Talus could actually be a good combo now that I think about it. But hey, that's just my opinion. On to Vora here. I'm going from left to right here on this just because I wanted to hit Talus there first. The reason why I put Vora there is because, again, another thing that is happening a lot is shields and a lot of deployables. More characters are coming up with deployables all the time. It's insanely stupid and weird for me, but all of this allows her to build stacks, but it also blocks a lot of her shots. Her DPS is not that good. I mean, her DPS next to Zen's just going to destroy her, right? You pick a Zen, you pick a good Maeve, or even sometimes even a good Eevee, and just dance around the Vora, and the Vora is gonna die 20, like 9 out of 10 times. Even if you're a very good Vora. I just want people to understand one thing. I'm a Vora main. I'm a Vora one trick, whatever you want to call it. And I'm speaking also from experience. I'm a level 350 on Vora. Now, am I saying the Vora is bad? No, I'm saying the Vora right now, in this case, could have some good spots and bad spots at the same time. She's like right there in the middle. You know, she's not a throw pick, but she's not that mandatory you have to secure champion either, right? If maybe you're very good with Vora, then fantastic. You can still pull off some work. But I guarantee you that with all of this that's going on, like Nyx spreading CC all over the place like every 5 seconds, with the bug, the dimension circle that it increases the dimension of the circle, also in the card that you can't see it visually, then you have like people who will just play Torvald to counter you, believe it or not. Guess what? You're gonna have to break through the shields, and then you get silenced by the Torvald, and then it's insanely hard to do anything, because if you try to dive the enemy team, especially now that everybody's playing Furious, right? And Furious is super aggressive, and you know it. You're trying to dive in the enemy team, and guess what? They'll turn back to you, and you're dead. Most people are now forced to play double tendril just to be able to survive with DR, okay? And even then, it's still a struggle to kill anything. So that's why I'm putting Vora there. And again, back to what I was saying. I understand that some of you will be maining or one-tricking some of these champions that I'm talking here, but again, this is a personal tier list, and I'm sort of visualizing it in general, right? I'm not putting the most borderline cases. Like, for example, I'm not going to be talking about Buck as if it's Reventric playing it. Okay, I'm talking about Buck as if it's the entire community who's looking at the champion. Would they play it? Maybe, maybe not. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Skye. Okay, so Skye is a funny little thing, because now with crossplay, you see a lot of Skies, right? Like, you see a lot of Skies, right? A lot of people think that Skye right now is meta, because she has speed, she has damage, she could be really good to melt tanks, but that's about it. I mean, you got a bunch of different characters here that can just counter Skye easily, right? You got a Tyra Marks, that's one of the most played champions right now. You got Vivian with the sensor drones, you got Strix, people play Strix every once in a while, like maybe a, what? Splitstone? Frogaz? I don't know. There's a bunch of different places, there's a bunch of different reveals, and even if you don't have reveals, people are just stocking Haven and Veteran already all the time. So even if you do get the chance of getting somebody very low, you need somebody else to do the job for you so you can finally kill people. By herself, Skye, as soon as she tries to get to the enemy team, she's not going to do anything. So she's sort of a little bit like Caspian. She snowballs it a little bit, but Caspian is even like more snowbally than her, right? Skye can still do one thing. You know, like maybe get him a poison the guy, boom. Caspian can't even do that. Caspian's trash right now. Alright, I'm sorry. You need to bring back him getting stacks on shields and deployables. When I suggested nerfing the guy, that was not what I meant. Please. Koga. The reason why I'm putting Koga there in the lowest position of average is because it's pretty annoying to me that this guy, the only thing he does, like most people who are playing Kogas right now, are just dash and spray, dash and spray. And you know for a fact that most of the people who pick this are controllers. Like, most of them are. 75% at least. And it's just like, they go for this because it's the easy, right? And this guy doesn't do that much damage. The only good people I've seen that actually could pull off a good Koga will eventually switch from SMGs to claws to do some DPS and then finish it off with this SMGs. You don't see anybody doing that. You don't. This guy's only good for spreading cauterize right now. Alright, if you have maybe some pockets, maybe he's a Torval or something, then you can try to do something. But even then, if you're having a scenario where there's no Torval, no nothing, Koga is just there spraying onto people until they actually die. And it's sad, because I've seen Koga be in a way better position than right now. But, I mean, he's not in the worst position. He's an average. Let's go into good. I'm just going to be honest. The 7 is still in a good position. I don't think that... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Did I put that there? Sorry, that's what I meant. Zen, to me, is one of the most obnoxious things in this world. This guy is not OP when it comes to damage, although he does good damage, right? He's OP when it comes to surviving. And subsequently, he's OP when it comes to being annoying. And I think that's one of the most, like, one of the best features about a good flame. Being very, very annoying. Eevee is all about that as well. But the thing is, Eevee can be effective as well. Now, Zen can be effective, don't get me wrong, but like, for example, his ultimate is garbage. You gotta use it for mobility. When people play Guillotine, if it's a good enemy team, good luck trying to get even a kill with it. Unless you're using it on somebody who's like that last person on the team for no good reason. Maybe there'll be 1 or 2 scenarios where it will be good. But other than that, like, this guy has pretty good damage, has good mobility, is very annoying. He's not OP, hard to counter sometimes, maybe, but a good Torval, maybe a Shaolin, or maybe something else that can just essentially give him some CC every once in a while. And I guarantee you this guy is going to be really easy to counter. Speaking of counter, stop shooting his counter perhaps, and maybe you can actually deal with him a little bit better, community. That's all I'm going to say. All right, on to Andrew. Andrew is the sort of thing where he's OP. I would put him on OP, but I also think that he's easy to counter if people just know how to put pressure on him, right? And I've seen it countless times. I've seen Andrews do super good, and I've seen Andrews do super bad. Not because the player himself, because if you go and check stats of these players who did play bad in that one game with Andrew, you do see that the guy does very good with Andrew. But what happened? Well, because there's a lot of champions right now in this meta that can easily make his life a living hell, right? And the more champions that release, the harder it is. Like, you got stuff being released with a crap ton of CC, a crap ton of deployables. There's shields. There's just going like super spammy like Betty and so on. It becomes very annoying, right? And so it brings back D'Angelo down a little bit. He's very simple, straightforward. He's very strong. He does good damage, but he gets easily countered by many good picks, right? And when you go into competitive, you have to think about the draft. You insta-lock Andrew, I guarantee you somebody's going to be picking somebody to counter your ass. Okay, so good luck trying to do anything through the shields, through the entire team, just stacking up together, being really, really tight together, protecting the support and everything. Good luck trying to do anything about that, right? Maeve, I would actually consider Maeve better than Andrew, although the damage that Andrew does naturally is way better than Maeve's. And in order for you to be super effective with Maeve, you have to play Cat Burglar. Street Justice, in my opinion, is super garbage, even though it does work in certain scenarios if you have like 2 very tanky tanks, like a Yago and maybe like a Zon or something. But those scenarios are really, really, really rare. Although you can use it against Inara, I guess. Rogue's Gambit is the sort of thing that I only see like 1 or 2 people playing that in competitive. Okay, that's the one where it resets the dash. Okay. The Cat Burglar is the main one of Maeve, the one that does more damage after Prowl. And again, more shields, more CCs, more everything. This all just pain. It literally puts a lot of pain and struggle into Maeve. But Maeve has good mobility, one of the best mobilities in the game. She can sometimes pull some good damage, and she does not have any damage drop off at range, which is fantastic. She can stack up Cat Burglar with Wrecker, absolutely destroying shields, demolishing them. Her ultimate is a bit garbage when it comes to being countered, because Resilience just puts it down to 2 seconds. And most champions that have an ethereal whatever ability, whatever you want to call it, it just literally turns it off. Guess what? Ice Block Eevee, Dash Koga, CC immune stuff that, like, for example, the ultimate of Fernando, Vora with her Obliteration. You know, there's just a crap ton of things that allows you to counter it. And if you don't want to counter it, just stick together with your team and just stay back a little bit and then just go in. Like, it's super short in duration, so it's easy to counter. But she's still good nonetheless. Lex. I might have to adjust this, put Lex in there, because Lex here right now is being heavily picked because of controllers. Okay? But I'm also seeing a lot of people in PC getting the value on it, seeing that, you know, Discovery did get nerfed. I'm not stupid, all right? Yes, I know. But still, this guy is pretty destructive, okay? Having one reveal all the time, then you can just rotate it into get, like, that one person that might be standing by themselves, like the support or something. As soon as you see your window of opportunity, you just go in and get them. This can be the most bully sort of champion you've ever seen in this game, right? He gets more credits, which is fantastic. He gets a full reveal all the time, no counter whatsoever for it, and the only issue, in my opinion, is his mobility. But I mean, if you're good at positioning and you know when to dash, you're all set, man. Like, if you go with Death Hastens, he demolishes the damage you can pull off. 1k a shot, what? But if you're going with Discovery, it's pretty annoying to deal with. I'm not gonna lie. Into 7 is again still his mobility, right? He still can pull some damage. I've seen some people play with the first talent, the one that increases that damage, with the burst and then the fire on the mag dump and the ice on the full auto. All of that, it might not look like the viable option, like, oh, but then I lose mobility. Yes, but trust me, if you time your mobility correctly, and if you use that extra damage with the burst, you can demolish people in 2-3 bursts. And I'm counting, like, if you have a good aim that can just go for headshots. People have a hard time having to look up in this game. So having to look for the 7, even if they did hear the audio cues, I guarantee you that it's still going to be a struggle. Nonetheless, he's not that OP, but his entire mobility and that extra damage that I'm talking about on the talent, if you don't want to count the entire just spamming bombs all over the place and dashing around and being almost impossible to stop, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Now, as for OP, the reason why I'm putting Vato and Eevee in here, Vato has, in my opinion, one of the best ultimates in this game. For a duelist sort of champion, that's one of the best ults, right? Because even though you have other ults that could be similar to that, his ult in certain scenarios can completely destabilize an entire team. You have an ability that it never ends, and I blame, you know, the developer Nico that probably designed him or something. I'm joking, by the way. He's in chat while I'm recording this. But he has a mobility that never ends. If you know the text on how to like bend the, not bend, but like, what's it called? Flick the shots. If you can flick the shots by looking down and getting them together, or just like moving a little bit before you're shooting so that they get a little bit tighter, and you know how to play using the shadow bombs and so on, even the entire teleport, it's actually fantastic. He has infinite mobility, sometimes even better than 7. 7 can be very unpredictable. It can be a lot of problems with his hook. This guy, no. He doesn't need anything. Just look in the direction and just go. This is better than Rogue's Gambit by far. He does some pretty good damage. He can poke. He can bully these squishies all the time. And his ultimate just can bully anything in this game. It's insane. Even with resilience, it could be the most obnoxious thing. It's literally skewer from Koga, but with no drawbacks. You can instantly dash. You can hold it and just dash through an entire team standing on point. You can use it for mobility to get really high up into the sky and then use it better than Zin's ultimate. So it's way better than Zin by far. And his mobility is super annoying because people are going to be flying with Vato all the time. Now, onto Eevee. I don't think I need to explain anything. I mean, Eevee's OP, that's it. And right now, there's even a new playstyle that a lot of people have been seeing, like, for example, people like Mutu playing it. And let me show it to you. If you play with this loadout, which essentially allows you to have infinite ammo if you do the right combo, and infinite swords, because it says reduce the cooldown of sword by 100% after getting elimination. Folks, elimination means assist. You don't have to get a kill. You can just tag one person, all the 5 different enemies, and that's it. It's disgusting. Okay? You could just like pentakill if you want with this. She has the mobility, she has good damage, you go it over the moon, you get even extra more damage, you could just constantly be stacking because you're constantly soaring, and then her ultimate can be a game changer because it can just stagger 3-4 people in that one spot. They can't run away, they can't do mobility, nothing. It's insanely strong. Her ice block cleans everything. You use it for both getting ammo and cleaning stuff. Even cauterize, it cleans cauterize. It's insane, right? So you can do some pretty nasty things with Eevee. And I cannot come up with an excuse as to why she wouldn't be the best flank in this game. And I really don't want to bother myself with it. Because I guarantee you that even with a good Andrew, I've seen good Andrews fight good Eevees, but I guarantee you that if you've never seen good Eevees, you are missing out. That is the best flank in this game, right there. That's Eevee, right there. Okay, she should have her own tier. Best flank. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching again. Remember, this is just a personal tier list. If you liked it, fantastic. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. But you're more than free to welcome to go down the comments below and tell me what you think I said wrong, or what would you change if this was your tier list. And in fact, I'm going to ask you for one simple thing. I want to know, what are your top 3 flanks when it comes to what you like to play? Not the best flanks. I want to see your favorite flanks, okay? Maybe I'll do a video of like the most favorite flanks in the game based on community answers. So check that out. Bye-bye.